Hi there, welcome to our music class. This year we're going to be learning in a modern classroom. I know that may be different for some of you, maybe not, but I thought that maybe I would take some time and explain what that is. So by the time of this slideshow, you will know exactly what a modern classroom is. Let's get started. So my name is Mrs. Andriaco. Welcome to your music class for the 23-24 school year. This will be a semester-long class, and we're going to be doing flipped classroom learning. So, like I said, by the end of the slideshow, you'll know exactly what that is, and you'll be able to explain it. So, what is a flipped classroom? A flipped classroom essentially is a self-paced learning environment that allows the student to work at their own pace, which is a good thing. Each unit is going to be unlocked one at a time. The lessons, assignments, and tests are opened sequentially as you learn each skill, complete a practice assignment, and then demonstrate mastery. Once the unit is completed, you'll have an exit ticket with the teacher, and the next unit will be unlocked. So why do we use a flipped classroom? There's a number of positive reasons to use a flipped classroom, but here are a few of my favorite. First of all, like I said, the lessons are self-paced. That gives you the freedom to work at your own pace. You have access to the material at any time that you need it. So if you get home and realize that maybe you needed to watch that video again, you can do that. You have access to that material. You're going to demonstrate the mastery of the skill before you're required to move on to the next one. If needed, you can watch the videos, use the slides, and retake the formatives as many times as you need to help you relearn the content before you move on to the summative. So self-pacing throughout the units, what does that look like? Well, each folder has a due date. You're going to begin working in the green folder. No matter which unit you start on, green always means start. Once you complete the tasks within the folder, you're going to have a check-in with the teacher. After your check-in, you're then going to be allowed to take your summative. You have to complete the summative with an 80% or better, and then you can start working on the yellow folder. So if you didn't pass your mastery checks or you didn't get your 80% or better, you're going to need to relearn the material and complete the assignments and the summative again. You can do this as many times as you need to as well. So how does the self-pacing work? Well, like I said, you have a green, yellow, and red folder. You're always going to start on green, and green is going to have the due date. The due date for the green folder is going to be the due date for all the other folders. So whether or not you finish the green folder, yellow folder, and red folder, they'll all have to be turned in by the same date. So you have your intro, your video and slides. You're going to have an assignment, practice, a formative with a mastery check, the check-in with the teacher, and then you can move in to your next folder. So then you have your yellow folder. That's going to be your instructions, your extension assignment, and your check-in. Then you can move to the red folder. You'll have instructions, your extension assignment, and your final check-in before you can continue to the next unit. The way that we're going to be tracking where you are is the class will use a progress tracker. The progress tracker is a visual representation of where you are in the classwork and units. It's in no way a representation of what grade you've earned. The progress tracker is meant to help you stay on track. So once you have your check-in with the teacher and you move to the next folder, the progress tracker is going to then be updated. So let's try it. I want you to get into your Google Classroom. You have your Google Classroom code inside your slides. Click on the 9 square and then click on the Google Classroom icon as you see in the pictures to your left. Next, we're going to watch an intro video on how you kind of navigate Google Classroom. It can be a little bit daunting, especially because we're doing it a new way. So you're going to see topics, classwork, units, submitting assignment, and progress tracker all in the video in the next slide. So now that you've watched the video, let's talk about understanding the site. In Google Classroom, you're going to go to the classwork tab at the top of the page. You're going to start with the items in the green section in the unit. Each task in the unit is labeled with a number. For example, 0.1. The first digit in the number is the unit, which would be unit 0, and the last digit is the task number, which is task 1. So how do you navigate the site? When you get into your Google Classroom, on the left side, you'll see topics of the class. At the top, in the middle, you'll see tabs: Stream, Classwork, People, and Grades. Don't forget, each task in the unit is labeled with a number, example 0.1. The first digit in the number is the unit, and the last digit is the task number. So how do you use the folders? The first folder in every unit is green. I'm going to say this over and over and over again because that's going to be what helps you understand that's where you start. Every single task must be completed sequentially before you can move on to the yellow folder. So what does sequentially mean? Sequentially means in order. You don't skip. You're not going to work on 0.1 and then move to 0.4. You need to go to 0.2, 0.3, and then 0.4. Each folder is going to contain an introduction with either a video, a slideshow, or possibly both. You'll have a practice task, an assignment, a journal entry, and then you'll have your mastery check with your teacher check-in. Then you'll move to your summative. I may change the contents of the folder from time to time. However, this is the general layout of what you're going to see. If the green items are completed before the due date, you can move on to the yellow folder and complete the extension tasks. Same thing with the red folder. Once you've completed the yellow extension task, you have done a check-in with me, and it's before the due date, you may move on to the red folder. So how do I handle late work? Each unit has a due date. The due date is meant to help keep you paced so you complete the required work by the end of the semester. The green folder must be completed to move on to the yellow and red folders within each unit. You'll need to complete each folder before moving to the next unit. Teacher check-ins. This will happen when you're ready to show me that you have mastery of that specific skill. So once you've completed your check-in, the progress tracker will be updated and you may move to the summative to complete that folder. We will do reflective journaling in this class. That's going to be a huge part of what we do in here. It's also a huge part of IB in general. Reflective journaling helps with self-reflection, knowing where to locate resources, and documenting your findings and progress. You'll need a composition notebook for this class. Summatives. If the summative isn't completed with an 80% or better, you'll be required to relearn the material and take the summative again. You'll have 2 weeks after the due date to complete the folder before work will not be accepted. So I will not accept it if it's past 2 weeks past the due date. And here's our grading scale. The grade you receive for the unit is based on how many folders you complete. If you finish the green folder, you move on to the yellow folder and then the red. Green is where you start working. Red is where you stop. The following is the scale. So if I complete the green work in the green folder, I will have earned a 70 to a 79. If I complete the yellow folder, I will have got an 80 or an 89 as an earned grade. If I complete all the work in the red folder, I will have earned a 90 to 100% for the unit. I look forward to having a great school year. Thanks for listening.